A reading from James chapter 3, beginning at verse 13. Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. What causes quarrels and what causes fights among you? Is it not this, that your passions are at war within you? You desire and do not have, so you murder. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have, because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive, because you ask wrongly, to spend it on your passions. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. There's a theme that runs through much of this section of the Epistle of James, and I should, for the purposes of being entirely clear with you, point out that in the lectionary, the cycle of readings we follow in the Church of England, a few verses have been missed out, so we go straight from verse 3 of chapter 4 to verse 7. But nonetheless, there is a bit of a theme that runs through this, and the theme, if I want to reduce it right down to its essentials, I guess is this. Where are you really looking when you want to make a decision? That sounds daft. Let me explain. What is going on here is James is saying, are we seeking the wisdom of God? So are we looking vertically? Are we looking upwards to God? Or are rather our motivations coming from within us? Are we looking within? And so he's saying, are we acting as people who are jealous and selfish? Well, that's looking within and looking to our own self-interests, or are we rather looking to be those who are seeking the wisdom of God, so therefore looking vertically? And this is a key thing. This is a key thing really in the discipleship. Because Jesus, you may remember a week or two ago on these videos, said that we have to deny ourselves, pick up our cross and follow him. So in other words, we're not to be looking within to our own desires and our own selfish ambitions, but rather looking upwards, looking towards God, looking to follow Christ. And James here, as he's discussing this, talks about this fact that we quarrel and we fight because of what he terms our passions. And that's a phrase which is there in Paul's writings as well. And the passions within the New Testament are those inner urges which drive us, and sometimes, even as we're doing them, drive us to do things that we know are wrong, but there's these deep impulses within us. And so it is that Christianity, one of the aspects of Christianity, is to deny those passions, to pick up our cross and to follow Christ. And the way that we do this? Well, this is there in the end of this reading from James. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So we are to submit ourselves to God by resisting these urges that come up within us, resisting those temptations that often dog us. And as we draw near to God, as James says, he will draw near to you. So as we come towards God, he meets us as we come towards him. And this is a great comfort. We don't have to have achieved all that there is to achieve in the Christian faith. We don't need to have achieved some great high level of spirituality. But the more we draw near to God, the more he draws near to us. We take the first step and God meets us on the way. And he carries on, cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. So at the core of all of this is this question: are we seeking to fulfill simply our own desires and urges, or are we seeking to follow Christ? Are we seeking to draw near to God, or rather are we simply having the passions at war within us? Are we seeking to be those who are cleansed and transformed, or are we simply seeking to do the things that we think might serve our own self-interest? And the great mystery of Christianity is simply this, that in the end, the more we seek to follow our own self-interests, the worse we feel, the worse things are, the more depressed we become. But the more we seek to draw near to God, to deny ourselves, pick up our cross and follow Christ, actually the more fulfilled we become. So although this all may sound like hard work, although this all may sound rather grim, deny yourself, actually this is the way that we may have life, and as Jesus said, have it in abundance.